OpenAI 刚刚发布 Codex 研究预览，一个基于云的软件代理，可以同时处理多项任务。现在已经向 ChatGPT Pro、Enterprise 和 Term 用户推出 Plus 和IDU 用户也会很快上线。如果你是开发人员，使用它的 API， 价格呢是每100万个输入令牌1.5美元，每100万个输出令牌6美元。你可以享受75%的即时缓存折扣。我们来详细的看一下它的一个 Codex 的介绍，最后看一下它的一个直播。Codex 可以执行各种任务，编写功能，解答代码的相关问题，修复错误，以及提交请求以获得审核。每个任务呢都在专属的沙盒中运行，并预夹在了代码库。Codex One 是 OpenAI O3 的一个版本，针对软件工程进行了优化。它使用强化学习，在各种环境中针对真实的世界编码任务进行训练，生成与人类风格偏好相似的一个代码，遵循指令，并可以在运行测试中获得很好的结果。我们可以看一下它的一个工作原理。你可以在侧边栏访问 Codex， 通过提问代码来让它分配新的编码任务。如果你想上传代码库，你可以进行提问。它每个代码库都是单独运行的，它可以读取和编辑文件，运行包括测试工具、检查命令。它可能需要1到30分钟，取决于你任务的复杂程度。你可以实时的监察 Codex 的进度，它完成任务会在其环境中进行更改。你可以引用的终端日志和测试输出来检查它的一个证据，它会显示每个步骤、每一个修订。这是它的一个工作方式，你可以看到它直接就会全部的显示出来。你可以放置在这个 MD 的文件进行引导，这些文件类似于 README 的文件，告诉你怎么做、怎么配置、怎么设置好开发环境、可靠的测试配置、性能等等这些方面。这里它是做的一个对比，这是工作任务时的一个数量，这是它的准确性。你可以看到 O3 是非常高的，在这里是模型的一个对比，这是准确度。Codex One 达到了75%，它的目的是打造可靠的代理商，也就是 agent。这是研究预览的一个进行对比，这是两个进行的一个比较，这是符合人类的一个偏好。简单来说，就是像人类一样来使用代码，它可以进行补丁、进行审查。这是天文学、数学等等这些你都可以看得到，直接就会给你的。当然，这么强大的一个工具，它会防止它滥用，它也考虑到安全的一个执行，所以它进行了云端安全隔离的容器进行运行，这是早期的一个用例。这里几个视频，你感兴趣可以看一下。这是与外部的测试人员的合作，这是思科的，这是这个的，还有这些，它都做了一些合作，进行了一些测试。这是最近的一个更新推出的 Codex CL， 是一个轻量级的一个开源代码代理，这是它的一个精简的一个版本。现在我是一个免费的用户，你在左端还看不到。我们可以放大，快速的来看一下这个视频，大概有23分钟。
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Software engineering is changing, and by the end of 2025, it's going to look fundamentally different. In 2021, we announced our first model that we called Codex. This was the first time that we've really demonstrated what we would now call vibe coding. Just a couple weeks ago, we released Codex CLI, which is a local agent that runs on your laptop in your own terminal. You're able to pair with and interact with in a synchronous fashion. Today, we're going to take a step towards where we think software engineering is going. And we are releasing a new system, which is a remote software agent that can run many tasks in parallel. We call this system, in the grand tradition of OpenAI naming, Codex. The thing that is exciting about Codex is that it runs with your repository, your environment on OpenAI compute. So you're able to run many, many copies of it. So you're able to do many tasks in parallel, fire them off, come back to them later, which is something that we'll be showing you today. We're rolling this out to ChatGPT for Pro, Enterprise, and Teams users starting today. And we will be following up with Plus and EDU in the future. Codex is powered by a new model that we call Codex 1. This is our best coding model to date. We've taken O3 and we've optimized it for not just the benchmarks, but really for the kind of code that people actually want to merge into their code base. So thinking about comments, thinking about extraneous changes, thinking about the style, so that it's something that actually really accelerates people's work. And so to show you this system, which we're so excited to share with you, we have many members of the Codex team.
Hey, I'm Hanson. I'm one of the members of the Codex research team.
I'm Josh, and I'm an engineer on the Codex team.
And I'm Thibaut, and I built code agents and the infrastructure to power them. I'm going to be jumping right into the demo. So normally, you would have to connect your GitHub account. I've already done that for myself. And here I'm going to be selecting my repo. I have selected an open source repo, the preparedness repo, which contains some of our frontier evals made by the amazing preparedness team that we have here. And this is relevant, like frontier evals are really about agents. So I'm just going to be using that environment. And then I'm greeted with 3 tasks that we believe are good to get started with on any repo. The first one is an ask task, which just asks the code agent, Codex, to explain the code base to a newcomer, explain the general structure. The second one is a code task, which asks to find and fix a bug somewhere in the repo. Most of the repos, as you all know, have bugs. So let's see if the Codex agent can find one. I did not put any bugs in there. This is code that we work with every day. And so we're going to be showing 2 repos today. One is the preparedness repo, and the other one is the Codex CLI one. And the final one is one that I'm really excited about, where I ask it to go through the code base and not just explore the code base, but also come up with proactive task suggestions that it could be doing on its own. So let's start those. Now we have 3 Codex agents working on these tasks concurrently, just in the background. And what I'm also going to do is, one of my favorites is find as many typos and grammar mistakes as you can and fix them. I think this didn't matter. Let's see if it understands also that my instructions as I make typos. And I have scheduled a task just before this, before we were going to jump on this, where I asked something quite interesting to the Codex agent. I ask it about one of my goals. I say, my code base I want it to be maintainable and bug-free. Read through the code, propose some tasks that would help with this goal, and don't overemphasize on to-dos. To-dos are everywhere in code bases. Those I know about. I want novel things. And so the Codex agent went through the code base, and in its little environment, as we're going to show you, it found out about multiple things. Let's have a look. One of them here looks like we are having mutable defaults as arguments. Let's have Codex fix that.
Definitely fix that.
So let's schedule that. Correct variable spelling. I believe this will get fixed as part of the other task, but let's schedule that anyway. And then here, there was a little consistency about how we set timeouts. One time we set it to 120, another time we set it to 60. This Codex agent here has proposed a task for itself. So we are delegating the delegation here, which blows my mind every time. And I'm just going to say, make it 120. I think this is the right timeout here. And let's have it code out for us. And then let's jump into maybe this task here and see the Codex agent at work. So this isn't running on my laptop here. What exactly is going on here, and how does this work?
Yeah, that's a great question, Diva. So as evidence from just seeing all these tasks launch in parallel, we now need new agentic coding infrastructure for this world where agents need not only their own GPUs, but also a couple of CPUs. So this runs on OpenAI's compute infrastructure. It's actually, in fact, the same infrastructure we use for our reinforcement learning, and which means, fortunately, even ahead of this launch, it's been battle tested on the large-scale training runs that we do. And crucially, it's also consistent between what the agency is during training and what the agency is later in production. So each of these tasks runs in its own micro VM sandbox, file system, CPU, memory, network policy, and the agent has free reign within it, right? So the agent has learned how to use all your POSIX commands like grep, sed, knows how to run linting, formatting, and obviously it likes to write and execute a whole bunch of code.
Yeah, one thing that I really love about this interface is just how lightweight it makes it to spin up tasks, right? It's just your task left and right. And I think that really makes it a big difference for how you use it.
I think it's a lot of powerful infrastructure, and like the web interface makes it nice to interface with it, but I think it's also a lot more configurable.
Yeah, so each task runs what we call environment, essentially more or less a repo, but with environment variables, secrets, and setup scripts configured so that you can customize the runtime to more fully unlock the agent's capabilities. When we worked with early alpha testers, we found that you get really big early wins by installing something as simple as a linter or a formatter. And we actually now install a lot of those by default. And of course, our power users have all their test dependencies set up. For OpenAI's internal environments, we have even pre-commit hooks set up. So as the agent's coding, it's actually committing, seeing what the commit hooks say. Really similar to actually my own dev environment.
That sounds really exciting. Maybe let's watch it work. And we're going to jump to an environment that we have fully configured, like the Codex CLI, and let's demo something cool with it.
Yeah, so I think one of my favorite use cases for Codex is its ability to find and resolve complex issues. So even leading up to this launch, I think Codex actually found and fixed a couple of critical bugs in our code. But here we're looking at the Codex CLI, which Thibaut and I have worked on. So we've got a bug report from a user here. Basically, when they have file names with special characters, the diff command in the CLI shows up with an error message. And so one of the things we've trained our agents to do is not just like address these issues, but also we've introduced this concept of an agent's MD file. So we know for developers it's extremely important to provide steerability and instruction to the model. And so the first thing we'll see it do here, it'll actually take a look at the agent's MD file in the repository. And so here we've provided some instructions about the layout of the repository. You can see one of the special instructions here, we've asked it to print some ASCII art to the terminal. I think, does that look like a cat to you guys?
It is.
It's a different cat every time.
It passes my cat test.
Yeah, pretty good. And then I think we also saw above that basically we've also told it, like here's the TypeScript part of the repo in the Codex CLI, and along with some instructions about how to run tests here, which is pretty important for the agent. So one of the cool things about the way we train these models with end-to-end reinforcement learning, they not just write code, but they also know how to navigate the code base and even reproduce the issues. So here, it's written a little script for itself. So you can see it's similar to us. I don't know about you guys, but I love to use print debugging.
Never.
That's something we see emergent kind of as part of the RL training. It actually like
这内容就比较多，我们就不看了。我感觉挺惊人的。关于 OpenAI 推出的 Codex 的视频我分享完了，如果你有什么样的问题，可以点击下方赠予评论。我们下一个视频再见。